Welcome to another installment of Armored and Honor. Today we're going to learn about the life and legacy of Margaret A. Brewer, who was a woman who served who was the first woman in the U.S. Marine who reached the rank of general who in May of 1978. So if you like the content that I'm giving, please consider liking, subscribing, turning that notification on, and without further ado, let's get on with the episode. Margaret was born on July 1st, 1930, in Durand, Shawanee County, Michigan, and Maurice Maurice Dever Brewer, Maurice Dever and Anna Marie Silvis Brewer, and her parents divorced in her early life. Her ancestors of her father were on her father's side were early settlers to Michigan, are all buried near the Bishop Airport in Flint, Michigan, where she received her primary education in Michigan. She received where she received her education by attending Rhino School in Clinton Township in Genesee County in 1936. She later attended and graduated from Catholic High School in Baltimore, Maryland, prior to entering in University, Michigan in Ann Arbor. She received a bachelor's degree in geography in 1952, and she was a member of the Zeta Tau Alpha sorority. Margaret's Marine Corps career started when she was commissioned as a second lieutenant in the United States Marine Corps in 1952, where her first assignment was at the Marine Corps at Air Station in El Toro, California, where she served as a communication where she watched officer until where she where she served as a communication officer until June of 1953. She was a transfer, then she transferred in to Brooklyn, New York for 2 years, where she toured as an instructor of the Woman Marine Reserve Unit. From 1955 to June of 1958, then Captain Brewer served successfully as a commanding officer of the Women Marine Companies at Norfolk, Virginia Marine Corps Base in Camp Lejeune in North Carolina. During the 18-month following, she was a platoon commander for women officer cadets in Marine Base Waterco, Virginia during the summer training session, and for the balance of time, a women officer selection officer, the headquarters in Lexington, Kentucky. She then transferred to Marine Corps Base in Camp Pendleton, California in November of 1959. For her duty with the commissioned officer mess, where Brewer was promoted to major in September of 1961. And in April 1963, she returned to Quantico to serve as the executive officer. And later, she served as a commanding officer of the Women Officer School. By 1966, as a public affairs officer for the 6th Marine Corps District of Atlanta, Georgia, as a lieutenant colonel. Brewer served as a deputy director of the Women Marine Headquarters at Marine Corps from March of 1968 to March of 1971. She was promoted to colonel in 1970. Reporting to Quantico, she assumed the role as a specialist assistant to the Director Marine Corps Education Center, where she became the chief of the support department in Marine Corps Education Center in June 1972, where she was serving in this capacity until she was selected as a 7th Director of Women Marine on February 1st, 1973 until 1977. Brewer's promotion to rank Brigadier General on May 11, 1978. On July 1st, 1977, then Colonel Brewer assumed duty as a deputy of Division Information Headquarters, Marine Corps, when Director of the Women Marine Officer was disbanded because of the stride made in integrating women into the expanding role of the Corps for mentoring service as a Director of Women Marines She was presented the Legion of Merit by the Commander of the Marines Corps on June 30th of 1977. While serving as the Deputy Director of the Division of the Information Headquarters, Marine Corps, Brewer was nominated to the post of Director of the Division of Information, which required a general rank. At the time, the Marine Corps did not allow women to hold general rank. President Carter made a special nomination to the grade of Brigadier General that was approved by both Houses of Congress, and she was appointed to the grade, assumed duty as a Director of Information on May 11, 1978, at which time she became at the time she became the first female general officer in the United States Marine Corps. After Brewer resigned or reorganized the division of the information, she was redesigned or reassigned as a Division of Public Affairs, and Brigadier General Brewer's title was changed to Director of Public Affairs. Brewer retired in 1980. Later that after Brewer served on the board as a Catholic charity of the Arlington County Marine Corps Heritage Foundation at the Catholic High School of Baltimore, where she was also the chair. She attended church at the St. Thomas More Cathedral. She also worked towards the creation of the National Museum of the Marine Corps and the women in the Marine Service, or women military, and the women in the military service for the American Memorial. Brewer died of it at the Green Spring Retirement Home in Springfield, Virginia, on January 2nd, 2013, due to Alzheimer's disease. She had no surviving immediate family. She was interred in Columbia Gardens Cemetery in Arlington, Virginia. So there you have it on Margaret Brewer. If you like the content that I'm giving, please consider liking, subscribing, sharing it with your friends, turn that notification on, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the next adventure.